Hi friends, today I'm going to tell you or show you how I print my stickers and cut my stickers with my Cricut Maker. I will put in the description box the paper that I use and the laminate that I use over and where I get it from. I will, if possible, provide a link to those and also my printer that I use and the Cricut Maker that I have. You do not need to have the exact things that I have in order to make and cut stickers. These are just what I prefer. If you are going to be making stickers that are going in planners or things like that, you definitely don't need the laminate over top, but I want something that's going to be weatherproof and be able to put on water bottles without them getting ruined easily. And so that's why I do the laminate, and it works really well for me. I tested a few different things and I put them on my water bottle just to see how they would age. And without the laminate, the stickers got stained and discolored and scratched up. But with the laminate, it just looks so much better, and it's holding up with time pretty well. Pretty comparable to like a Sticker Mule or a Sticker App sticker. They do, I think, print theirs different and not have a laminate, but that's a whole different thing. If you want to use the Cricut, I really recommend using the laminate down in the description box if you want to create really high quality vinyl stickers. And honestly, it's not horribly expensive. But like I said, if you just want something simple to go in like planners, you definitely don't need to add that. I already created one video on this topic about how I make stickers and print them with Sticker Mule. So if you would like to see that video, click, I will put a card somewhere that talks more about how I actually design the stickers and things like that in Procreate. I have also started using Adobe Illustrator, but you do have to pay more for that. It is a monthly subscription, and Procreate honestly does the work just fine. Anyway, that is the intro to this video. So let's get into how I actually make the stickers. So first off, I have my design, of course, and I export that from Procreate or Adobe Illustrator or whatever app you're using. Just export it, and we're gonna get it into the Cricut Maker app, because that's how we're going to tell the Cricut where to cut our lines. This is the Cricut Maker app. So the first thing we're going to do is go into the top right hand corner and select New Project. From there, we're going to select Upload and then Upload Image. And here you can drag or drop your file, or you can browse and find it, whichever is easier for you. At this point, you'll have your image and you can select simple, moderately complex, or complex. I would recommend just clicking them all and seeing what they do to your image. Depending on how complicated your image is, you're gonna wanna select a different one. I typically always select complex, especially if you're working with a lot of colors. In this page, you can remove the background. There's an automatic way to do it, or you can manually do it by erasing, restoring, selecting, etc. So depending on your image, you might be messing around in this step for a bit. So switching to another image, you can see this is a really simple one. I do have some colors though, so I added complex, but it automatically removes the background really easily because it's basically just a rectangle. So then you're gonna click next and then select your option if you want to just cut the image or print then cut. Because we're printing, we're going to select print then cut, obviously. Here you have a lot of options. You can do a lot of things. You can flip your files, you can change the size. So if there's a size you want, you can just click in the width or the height and change the number, or you can drag it and just expand it as you want. I find it easier though if I want a particular size to just type it in. So I like to have outlines on my stickers. So what you're going to do is go to offset and then put a size in. You can mess around and play with different ones to see which ones you prefer, and then select apply, and it will automatically draw it on. It will automatically be black, but you can change the color by just clicking the box and changing the color. One thing to note is if you have a really complicated outline, it might have a hard time doing the offset. So what you can do in your drawing program is just create a sort of an outline on your drawing to kind of help it along. I have had to do that with one or two of my stickers that has a more complicated outline. So what you're going to want to do, which I forgot to do, is you can see that you have on the right hand side, you have your image and then you have your offset. So what you're going to do is you're going to select both of those and then hit flatten, and that'll put both of them like on the same layer. And then you can copy and paste it and you'll get the offset with the image so that every single thing will be identical and you don't have to add the offset to every single image. When you have everything the way you like it, you're going to click the Make It button in the top right hand corner and it'll show you how it's going to lay out on your sheet. So what I tend to do is just put in a random number of duplicates of my sticker and see how many will fit on a page, and then from there determine how many I need to have, because you can see that third page only has like 2 on it. So I go back and delete so that it's a even number of pages instead of using like half a page or something, because that's kind of a waste. So I just deleted stuff until I had enough to fill 1 page. You can see in the left hand side you have an option to mirror, so that can be useful if you're doing like heat transfer or something where you're going to stick something down and you need it to print reverse. You can also change your materials, but once you're all good, you just hit that continue button and the Cricut software will guide you on what to do. So you want to print it, you're going to click send to printer, select your printer. You can add a bleed, and what this does is it just gives you a little extra room so that when it cuts, it's not going to cut into your image accidentally, but having that outline on there, the offset, also helps with that. The use system dialog allows you to use your printer dialog. So when it comes up, you can select printer settings. If you don't turn this on, it will just automatically print to your printer without you being allowed to select printer settings, which I prefer to do because I can change the type of printer or the type of paper that it's printing on or the quality. And so I always turn that on so that I can mess with my printer settings. And at this point, you're going to want to plug in your Cricut if it's not already plugged into your computer, because the next step is to cut your stickers out. So my Cricut is in another room than the computer and the printer that I use for designing everything. So I move upstairs and sign in on my MacBook, which is connected to my Cricut. So what we're going to do is we can go to New Project, or if you saved your project, you can go to My Projects and open up the file that you just saved with all the things that you want to print. So now we're going to go back to these stickers and you're going to click Make It, and it's going to give you the same sort of screen here. So it's going to show you how many you can fit on a sheet. Just hit continue. And then if you've already printed it, you can click I've already printed, which is really handy. And then you're going to select your materials. So I created my own material, which is sticker with laminate, and I had to increase the cut pressure and also have it cut twice in order for it to cut out because the laminate is quite thick. So if you go to browse all materials, you can see a full list of everything that you can do, and you can favorite certain ones that you use frequently. So this is one that I use a lot, and you can go to your material settings and see the cut pressure, if it has multi-cut on, and which blade type it requires. For stickers, you're just going to want your normal fine point blade, but I'm going to scroll down and show you the settings that I currently have on for these stickers. So it looks like currently my pressure is at 350. I have it doing a 2 times cut. Depending on your Cricut, if you have the exact same one as me, this might work. If you have a different one, you might want to mess around with your pressure settings to see what works best for you. Here it's just telling you you have to have your blade loaded. Pretty simple there. And then you're gonna need to load your mat. Before you put your mat in your Cricut, obviously you're going to need to put your laminate on your stickers. So these are the stickers that we already printed from the Cricut, and then I take my laminate and I kind of cut it down to size because, as you can see, I'm only using a half sheet of the sticker paper and I don't want to waste the laminate. It's not the cheapest stuff in the world. It's not ridiculously expensive, but I try to save my scraps because depending on how you print your next sheet, you could use those scraps to cover the areas, and then you're just being a little less wasteful of your materials and saving yourself a little money. This laminate can be a little bit difficult to get off the edge. Sometimes you have to kind of like play with it a bit, or even almost rip the end in order to get it off, if that makes sense. So here I finally got it. And then what I like to do is kind of roll the paper underneath and then stick down the top of it And then I'm going to slowly move down the length of the paper to try to avoid getting bubbles and lines that will create creases that will make your sticker not look so great. You could also use the tool that's underneath my scissors right now to do this part, but because this one's pretty small, I find it easier to just use my hands. And then I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to scrape down, and you can kind of see that it's making the laminate adhere more to the paper. Obviously you want this because when your sticker is cut, you want the laminate to be on there really good so that the sticker will last for whoever is using it, if it's you or a customer. And this will help it just be really durable. So I give it a good scrape until it looks good. I also recommend doing this on a smooth surface. I did notice after doing this that because I was doing it on wood, some of the wood grains can be kind of seen. So if you have like a really smooth surface, I would actually do it on top of that. So once you've got that and you've stuck it onto your mat, you're just going to feed it into your Cricut, and the software tells you exactly how to do this. You just stick it in here and then you're going to press that little arrow button, but this is a little difficult to do one-handed while you're trying to film. So yeah, just click that button right there. And then you're going to go back to your computer. And at this point, it's going to prepare it, and then it's going to scan. It uses that black outline to know where to cut. If it's not cutting correctly, you'll have to do a calibration, which isn't super difficult to do. I think the software kind of can walk you through it, or if not, you can always look up directions on Google or YouTube. And I just sped this up. So now it's gonna cut all of your stuff. Like I said, I have it cut 2 times, so it goes over it twice just to make sure it gets all the way through the paper. And then we're gonna remove that mat and take our stickers off of it. As you can see, because I did that 2 times cut and everything, this is super easy to take off. I always do the background first. And then there's this little spatula tool thing that I like to use, and you can kind of just stick it under there. I find if I use my fingernails, I'm more likely to bend the sticker. So this is just the easiest way that I found to do it, but you can obviously play around. But yeah, this is the final result. If this video helped you in any way whatsoever, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.